Well, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good morning. This is Dr. Jacqueline King, and I said I'd be back in a few minutes, and I am back, and I'm back with the lovely Pastor Queen, Dr. JoAnn Sadlin, pastoring for 11 years, also teaches school, holds a doctorate in theology. Her favorite scripture is Psalm 34, and she is a new author and has a memoir called After This, Survivor of Cancer 28 Years. You also a survivor of COVID, right?
Yes. Hmm.
And she loves the Lord, and her favorite song is, what is that, Mariette?
Yeah, it's Marette
Mar-
Brown Clark. Thank you. It's the name of the
okay.
song. Yeah,
Marette
she.
Clark. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Uh-huh.
thank you for joining us. Really glad to have you as we wrap up this month of celebrating our survivor queens of
Mhm.
breast cancer. And I'm gonna tell you what, 28 years is a long time. And
Yeah.
God has kept you. Uh,
Yes.
Tell me, let's start with the beginning because I heard your story, but our audience
Mhm.
doesn't know. How did you were at some event when you found out you had breast cancer? Let's go back there.
Okay. Yes, I was at the Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia, in 1996 is when the Olympics was there. Um, my job sent me there to help showcase the products that we were making and selling. And so while there, I met a new friend, and she ended up being my roommate, and she's still my friend today. But she was with me when I discovered a lump in my breast. I
Mm.
know that lump was not there. I don't know when it showed up, but there it was. And that's where my journey began. Um, I was hoping and praying that it wasn't there when I got home. I just was hoping that was just whatever
Mhm.
scar tissue or something. And so a couple of weeks or weeks later, I bumped myself and I went ahead and went to the doctor. And that's when it all unfolded as to whether it was malignant or not. And I had the greatest doctors in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the time. They both since have retired or moved on to something else. And that's, I both of them were pastors of churches, and so I felt okay when they prayed over me and those types of things. But yeah, so they went ahead on and did the mammograms and all the tests that they needed to do to see if it was malignant or not, and also to find out whether it was aggressive and what kind of cancer I actually had. It's so many different kind of breast cancers. So then I met the surgeon, and he began to discuss and talk with me with the test I had taken to let me know that they wanted to give me a lumpectomy. A lumpectomy is a very simple, small incision that they do in the area where the cancer is to find out exactly, how many, what stage was it in, did I have any in my lymph nodes, those types of things. And by God's grace, there was none in my lymph nodes. And it was just at the first stage. So that gave me a little bit more, bought me some time right there. And then they began to, they did a lumpectomy, which was in the front of the breast. And I remember the gentleman called me from radiology asking me which breast was the lumpectomy done on. And I was thinking to myself, is he a new person or what? He don't see it.
That's right.
But the surgeon was an excellent surgeon, African American, a doctor, and he did an awesome job. And then when he finally found it, he said, "Oh, there it is." He said, "Man, he's excellent." So that made me gave me some confidence there. He was, gave me even more confidence. And so after that happened, they sent me to a oncologist. And most of you probably know oncologists are the people that specialize in blood diseases and those types of things, cancer and so on and so forth. And I was introduced to my doctor there, and he did further testing and things of that nature to again see what type of cancer it was. It was an aggressive cancer that 95%, 75 to 95% of African American women get. And so he suggested that I have a mastectomy. The other doctor said he thought if I just did the local radiation in the area where the lump was, that would be enough. And then he finally just said, well, that's why he's the specialist. We're going to go along with what he says. But before I decided to do this, I spent time with God and prayed and asked him, what should I do? So he took me to some different places, TV shows, and all kinds of things to help me to decide what I needed to do. One of the things I know I shouldn't have done, and that was have an implant, because there was a lady on this show called Sally Jesse Raphael that had experienced really bad health issues because of the implant, because it began to leak inside of her body and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So right away I knew, well, that's not it, you know. And so I did agree to the mastectomy because I wanted, my prayer was to raise my own children. That's what I asked God for, to let me live so that I could take care of them. I had two in college, one in high school, one in middle school. And I also had prayed, as a single parent, I was divorced. And I asked God, had I done okay with the children? Well, when I got diagnosed with that cancer, that showed what type of, how my children felt about me. They took care of me from the beginning until I was able to take care of myself again. And so there it is. They gave me medicine that I took that made me feel terrible, and I just couldn't do it. So I went to church and prayed, and I said, "Hey, God, you said by your stripes I'm healed. I'm giving this medicine back because I can't take it. 5 years, I got to take this." Oh, it was driving me crazy. My stomach was feeling bad. I started feeling bad. Just my entire body, more inflammation in the system, all that kind of thing. So I prayed, and I just trusted God and quit taking the medicine. I'm not telling you all to do that. I'm just telling you what I did. And 28 years later, I'm still able to talk about it. And they have so many more different kind of meds and different things going on. Like that medicine, for instance, it could cause cancer, bleeding, brittle bones, blindness. All when I saw all that, I'm like, never mind. I just can't take this. Plus, it was making me feel really bad. So anyway, we just went on with that because of the fact I had the mastectomy and I trusted God. I didn't have to have chemo or radiation or anything like that. I just took that medicine for about 3 months. And after it made me feel so bad, my stomach, everything, I couldn't do it. So I just trusted and just kept getting up every day, going to work, taking care of my children, helping them get places they need to be to do what they were doing.
So when you found this lump,
Uh huh.
um, I mean, did it hurt or anything?
Well, when I found the lump, no, it was just like a big knot there, just moving around. But when I bumped it, it did hurt. I said, oh gosh, I better get out of here and go to the doctor, because I was really hoping and praying the thing would go away, honestly. So, yeah, it did hurt then, but not when I initially found it. I found it, the lump. It was just like a knot, not a hard knot, just kind of soft moving around, And I was thinking, that's why I was thinking maybe it wasn't really anything to worry about, could have been scar tissue, things like that. And that's pretty much what happened. And then I just kept on. I started doing um, self care more. I started paying attention to myself, giving myself self care, getting my physicals on time, and stop putting everything in front of me as far as my health was concerned. Because had I went, well, I was in line to get a mammogram appointment, but somebody needed some help. And so I got out of the line to go help them. A year later, I get the mammogram, and had I done it at that time, they probably would have seen it when it first, just before it got to the stage one. It was just getting into it. But I was just, wasn't thinking about there was anything to worry about, really. But so I said that to say to you all, never assume anything. Never say, oh, well, it's not going to happen to me. Oh, it's not. Please go get yourself checked, do self checks, whenever you're showering or bathing. I'm a bath person. I'll do showers, but I prefer to soak and all of that. But whatever you do, wash ups, I don't know, make sure you check yourself. And if you don't have anything and you're not sure how to really do that, let your doctor know you would like to get one of those placards, put it up in your shower or your bathroom somewhere so you can make sure you're checking yourself properly. So,
That is great advice. I actually um, had found a lump years ago, and
mhm.
I went to the doctor, and she felt it too because I have very dense breasts. I think a lot of African American women have very dense breasts.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I
Hmm.
do think I've heard this many times.
Hmm.
And so she sent me to get a 3D mammogram,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
it turned out not to be anything. But with us that have those, I mean, you could feel like lumps all the time.
Yes.
You
Yes.
really can.
Hmm. I met a lady along the way while I was traveling with the cancer and all of the scheduled appointments and whatnot. That was laying on her back, just relaxing, and I just there it was, you know. And I wondered. I said, "Wow, if you hadn't laid back, just relaxing, and you just laid your hands on your chest, would you have found it in time?" And that's and it was malignant. So maybe you also can lay back on your back and check yourself too, because you just don't never know. It doesn't matter about what size breast you have. If you don't know what's happening in your family, a lot of African American families don't talk about these types of things where they did back when my mother was coming along.
Right.
So I made sure I did a whole lot of conversation talking it up to my children and my grandkids. Okay, I've had it, even my sons. Check yourself. Men get it too. So make sure your boys and men, your young grandsons or whoever's in your family, your husband, your brothers, whoever, that they check themselves as well, because they're susceptible to get the disease as we are. So I
Well,
don't know the
yeah,
numbers.
that is a fact. My friend,
Mhm.
Dr. Matthew knows Beyonce's father is a breast cancer survivor, and he
Okay.
he goes around talking about it all the time. His story is quite moving. Um,
Hmm.
how he had little blood drops on his sheet,
Yeah.
and his wife kept noticing that
Uh-huh.
you know these drops of blood, and he went to get tested and found out he had breast cancer. So you're
Wow.
absolutely correct. Men
Yeah.
get it too. So don't just think it's something that happens to women. So
Right.
uh, God brought you through that, and really, you said stage one, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and you didn't even have to have chemo. And
Yes.
so, do you feel like you had a new leaf on life because of not having to do any of that?
Yes, I do. Also, I want to share that a lot of the diseases that we receive, other than the fact we may not eat properly, is because we're stressed out. We stress too much about stuff. Everybody done moved on doing what they're doing, and we still worrying and mad and angry and all this other stuff. Those types of things have a lot to do with our health as well. But yes, I did. In fact, uh, after I experienced it, I just let things just go wherever they're going instead of sitting around worrying about smoking cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes too, and I quit smoking. It changes things. And I just stopped worrying, and I began to be more. After God had done this, I was more trusting. I had more faith, and because my children were very important to me, and I wanted to be there for them. So, and I wanted to be there for myself. Don't get me wrong, but that was my first prayer that I prayed. So, yeah, I did a new lease on life, and I even went back to school. Well, I got called into the ministry there, and I went back to school and got my doctorate. So, and so I just started saying, okay, it's my turn. Let me do this, that, and that. So, some of
I
the things,
kind of
and
I heard your story at an event that we were at. That's how we met. Wanda Webster Sansbury says that self breast exams are critical. 40 years ago, she had breast cancer because the Lord had her discover the lump early. She was
mhm,
healed through surgery, diet,
yes,
and a serious prayer and
mm,
seeking God. My breast was removed, and I was blessed that no further treatment was required.
awesome,
I'm a walking miracle today at 73 years young. Thank
awesome.
you so much for sharing that, Wanda. That's what I just actually interviewed someone before you who also was a breast cancer survivor. And
Hmm.
that's what we talked about. We need to talk more about this so that others know that
Yes.
breast cancer is not the death sentence it used to be.
Mhm, mhm. That's
And
true. Mhm.
we, yeah, by us sharing information and lifting each other up in prayer and coming together, bonding as sisters, that's a big help.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It absolutely is. And just, just be thankful that, you have a lot more outlets, places to go, and things to do pertaining to your health than maybe they had back in the day. You get yourself self care, get a physical, stay on top of those exams. If you're starting feeling some kind of a way, go see what it is. My aunt, I tried to find out through my family, was there anyone that had breast cancer and whatnot, and they said no. But I talked to my dad's sister, and she said that her youngest sister, it all started in her bones. She had
Mm.
ache all the time, and it metastasized to the breast. So if you got something nagging you and feeling weird and carrying on, go get it checked. Just go
Okay.
get checked out. Yeah,
Yeah, because fear, now I'll tell you what will kill you. The fear of the unknown and doing
that's it.
nothing about it. That's a
Yeah, it
good
will
way to
do.
leave here, right?
Yes, yes, it would definitely do it. Fear, yeah, just and being afraid, and always, go talk about it or do something, but go see about yourself. That's another thing we need to do is talk about things. We don't do that enough. So talk about it, communicate with someone. And I hear people say, "Well, I don't want everybody in my business." I said, "Honey, you ain't got no business when your health is on the line,
Yeah,
and if
right.
you got in, it's gonna die if you don't hurry up and go see about yourself."
Your business gonna die right along with you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I really appreciate your story. God
thank you.
delivered you, got
Yes,
you in the ministry. Um,
yes,
you're in the process of building your home.
yeah.
God
Yeah, well,
has really.
yeah. Well, I think I told you guys at the other program that I had this bucket list, and I was thinking to myself, I said, "Well, God, I got all these things on my bucket list. I know you ain't getting ready to take me out now, are you?" So, so, anyways, I'm just thankful to be able to talk about it. Yeah,
I'm really thankful too. I'm really glad that I met you. And look, I was gonna keep on you until you did this interview. I wasn't gonna let it go.
yeah. Well, I do. I just have so much on my plate all the time. If you could see my schedule for this week, I have Bible study, of course, and then I do a podcast. I had that, and then I had, all these this women's conferences coming up this weekend, and we got some groups here, some sororities here in the city. They having something, and I was trying to support them. And it's just, I was like, okay, we're not doing this again. Not like this. We just gonna have to spread it out, or they can catch me next year. So, but thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so grateful that I met you as well, and I was able to share maybe what I've said today will help somebody. That's what it's all about: communicating and helping. Hmm.
Absolutely. So what would you like to leave our audience with? And actually, if you want to share your
Hmm.
church or anything you want to share, let them know how they can reach you if they want to come to your church or come to your Bible study or whatever.
Okay. Well, right now we're global. During the pandemic, a lot of churches were closing and all of that. So we went global, not knowing we were going global. We were just trying to find a way to stay connected. So if you're interested, we have Bible study every Tuesday night at 6 and every Saturday at 4. We have church every Saturday at 4. And the number you can get on with us is 1978 990 5000, and the access code is 203974 pound. And then I'm on Facebook on a podcast called Encouraging Words for the Week every Monday. So you can connect with us like that. And until we hopefully find a building someday, but I'm really enjoying the global ministry right now. It's really good. And I've connected with a lot of people. In fact, my praise team is in Connecticut. So I just give God thanks for all of that. And I'm gonna say I don't know what else. Well, I ended up writing a book. Of course, you mentioned. After this, I
How
wrote
can
that.
they how can they get your book? And you wrote that after you survived, right?
Yes, yeah, I survived COVID. My mom passed during COVID. That's where I was trying to get to my mother, but before I could get to her, I got sick, and about 4 days later, she passed on. So I wrote a book called After This. You can get it on Amazon.com. It's a memoir that I wrote, and it's a journey that happened while it's about the journey I took during the COVID. It blew my mind so bad. If I had didn't have a relationship with God, I don't know what I would have done, because I never got to see my mom again, never got a chance to talk to her again. So if you got time, and go over there at Amazon.com and get it. Might encourage somebody that might be looking to become an author. I have been trying to write a book for a number of years. As a matter of fact, I have three that I'm going to write, and I'm working on another one right now. So my name is out there, Dr. JoAnn Sadlin. So if you are interested, please, please, please check it out.
Doctor, woman of God, thank you so much for this time.
Thank
And
you.
I want everybody to go out there and check out her book after this, Amazon, and you can tune into her Bible study and her podcast. She's got all the
Mhm.
information. This broadcast is actually being broadcast on LinkedIn, five
Mhm.
Facebook pages, and YouTube. So
Amen.
they have all of your information.
Okay. Well,
Thank you
cool.
so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
And I
Thank you
know
so
we'll
much.
be seeing each other. We'll be seeing each other around. So
Oh
I,
yeah, yeah,
I
we will. Yeah, we will. I work a lot out in the community, so we will run into each other, I'm sure.
thank you so much. God bless. And don't forget, get those mammograms. Listen to your body.
Yes, listen.
That was
Mhm.
her message that she wants to leave with you.
That's
Listen
what I want to
to
leave
your
with you.
body.
Yes,
Yeah.
take care, self care. If everybody got something want you to do, do it after you done took care of what you. Unless you don't, I always tell the kids, if you ain't sick, dead, or dying, wait a minute.
I know that's right.
Amen. God bless you, Dr. King.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for your
much.
time. All right.
Thanks. Bye bye.
God bless everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for listening. Share the broadcast, please.
Thank you.